The roar of jet engines echoes over the South China Sea, a sound that has become both a warning and a promise. In these contested skies, every flight is a statement of resolve, a demonstration of the Philippines' determination to protect its sovereignty. As F-50 light combat aircraft patrol Philippine skies, their presence is a daily reminder of vigilance. These jets, agile and reliable, form the backbone of the nation's air defense, tirelessly watching over the archipelago's vast maritime borders. Yet despite their capabilities, the F-50s are a reminder of a dream deferred, the F-16 Fighting Falcon, a fighter that once seemed within reach, but now remains just out of grasp. The F-16 represented more than just advanced hardware, it was a symbol of deterrence, a leap toward true air superiority, and a signal to both allies and adversaries that the Philippines was ready to defend its skies with the best technology available. With rising tensions and Chinese incursions into Philippine waters, the need for a credible way to defend its territory and reassure allies became more urgent than ever. The nation's security depended on more than just numbers. It needed cutting-edge capability and international support. In 2025, the U.S. approved a $5.58 billion sale of 20 F-16 Block 70/72 fighters, signaling a new era for Philippine defense. The announcement was met with hope and excitement, as it promised to transform the Air Force and elevate the country's standing in the region. The deal was more than just a transaction. It was a commitment to modernization, a strengthening of the U.S.-Philippines alliance, and a step toward a safer, more secure future for the nation. But that vision has faded, replaced by uncertainty and frustration. The promise of a modern Air Force now seems distant, as hopes are grounded alongside the jets that never arrived. The F-50s now fly with a sense of persistence and disappointment. Each mission is a testament to the pilot's dedication, but also a reminder of what could have been. The F-16 deal collapsed, not from enemy action, but from the tangled web of international trade, shifting priorities, and domestic politics. Bureaucratic delays and policy disagreements proved to be formidable obstacles. Now the Philippines faces a critical juncture. Forced to confront its vulnerabilities, the nation must chart a new path forward, one that balances ambition with reality and ensures the skies remain safe for generations to come. The F-16s were never just about acquiring new jets. They represented a pivotal shift in the Philippines' approach to national defense and regional security. These aircraft were a direct response to escalating threats in the South China Sea, where territorial disputes have become flashpoints for potential conflict. Chinese vessels have repeatedly harassed Philippine ships, highlighting the urgent need for a stronger deterrent and exposing significant gaps in the nation's ability to defend its maritime boundaries. The F-16 Block 70/72, equipped with state-of-the-art radar, avionics, and precision weaponry, would have transformed the Philippine Air Force into a credible regional power, capable of both defending its territory and projecting strength. Beyond hardware, the deal was about deepening U.S.-Philippines military ties, strengthening alliances, improving interoperability, and enhancing joint operations to deter aggression and maintain peace in the region. After retiring its last F-5S in 2005, the Philippines lost its supersonic edge. The F-50s, while useful for training and light attack roles, are no substitute for a true multi-role fighter that can dominate the skies and respond to evolving threats. The F-16s would have restored a credible defense posture, allowing the Philippines to protect its interests, assert sovereignty, and contribute meaningfully to regional security alongside its allies. Without these advanced jets, the Air Force remains limited, unable to fully deter, respond to, or even keep pace with modern threats in a rapidly changing security environment. The collapse of the F-16 deal leaves a critical gap in the nation's defense modernization, raising urgent questions about how the Philippines will secure its future in an increasingly contested region. The collapse of the F-16 deal was not the result of failed diplomacy or shifting alliances, but rather a direct consequence of U.S. tariffs. These trade barriers, designed to protect American industries, had far-reaching effects that extended well beyond U.S. borders. New trade policies dramatically increased the cost of military hardware, including the F-16s. Every shipment of parts, every component sourced from abroad, was now subject to higher duties, making the already expensive jets even pricier for foreign buyers. The $5.58 billion price tag was already a stretch for the Philippines. Tariffs threatened to make it unaffordable. For a country with limited defense budgets, every additional cost was a major obstacle, putting the entire deal at risk. The F-16's complex supply chain meant higher costs for every component, all passed on to the buyer. From avionics to engines, each part became more expensive, and the cumulative effect was staggering. Philippine officials lobbied for an exemption, arguing the deal would benefit both nations strategically and economically. They highlighted the importance of regional security and the shared interests of both countries. But U.S. trade policy prevailed, with little appetite for exceptions, even for allies. The American government was determined to enforce its new rules, prioritizing domestic economic interests over international partnerships. This created a conflict within U.S. foreign policy, balancing the goal of strengthening alliances with the need to protect domestic industries. The tension between economic policy and strategic interests became impossible to ignore. Ultimately, the risk of spiraling costs forced the Philippines to walk away. The dream of modernizing its air force was put on hold, and years of negotiation unraveled almost overnight. The collapse left a hole in the country's defense plans and exposed the limits of strategic partnerships in the face of economic policy. It was a sobering lesson in how global trade decisions can reshape national security. In the end, the dream of a modern fighter fleet was grounded not by tactics or technology, but by the invisible hand of tariffs and trade policy. Without the F-16S, the Philippine Air Force is left with a patchwork fleet, 12 FA-50S and aging support aircraft. The FA-50S, while supersonic, lacked the range, radar and payload of true multi-role fighters. The rest of the fleet is suited for internal security, not for deterring a modern adversary. Vast maritime territory remains difficult to defend with limited assets. Skilled pilots need advanced equipment and training, which the F-16 deal would have provided. Now, the Air Force faces a generational gap in experience and capability. The current force can show the flag but not deter a determined aggressor. The Philippines remains an Air Force in waiting, ready in spirit but lacking the tools to secure its skies. With F-16S off the table, the Philippines is urgently searching for alternatives. Second-hand European jets like Sweden's Gripen are under consideration for their affordability and capability. But switching to European platforms means overhauling logistics, retraining crews, and complicating U.S. interoperability. This could hinder joint operations with the U.S., a cornerstone of Philippine defense. Another option, invest in land-based missile systems, like the U.S.-made Typhoon, to create a coastal defense shield. This asymmetric approach deters naval threats but can't replace the versatility of a multi-role fighter. Missiles can't patrol airspace, intercept aircraft, or provide close air support. A layered defense is ideal, but budget constraints force tough choices. The Philippines must now balance air power with coastal defense, making hard decisions about its limited resources. The scramble for Plan B is a race against time and rising threats. The failed F-16 deal reverberates across the Indo-Pacific. For the U.S.-Philippines alliance, it's a setback, raising doubts about American reliability. China sees the collapse as a strategic win, emboldening its actions in disputed waters. Without a credible air deterrent, the Philippines has fewer options to push back. Other U.S. allies, like Japan and Australia, now question the consistency of American defense commitments. Concerns over tariffs and trade policy may drive them to seek European or domestic suppliers. This could erode U.S. influence and complicate regional defense integration. The Philippines' weakened air force creates a gap in the Indo-Pacific security network. The burden shifts to other allies to fill the void, stretching resources and complicating crisis response. The region's balance of power is more fragile than ever. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, its air power ambitions stalled by the failed F-16 deal. The Air Force must maximize its current assets while searching for new solutions in a complex arms market. The Gripen remains a leading alternative, but the path forward is slow and uncertain. Investment in asymmetric capabilities, missiles, radars, drones, will accelerate, aiming to deter aggression through layered defense. The episode reshapes the U.S.-Philippines alliance, prompting Manila to diversify its defense partnerships. Strategic autonomy becomes a priority, reducing reliance on any single ally. The F-16 saga is a lesson in the intersection of security and economics. The Philippines' quest for air power continues, a fight for sovereignty in a contested region.